Chapter 22. Siddhadharas and Brahmanandam. 6 chief positions of mind and Jiva, and the eternal bliss. O teacher! You have not explained what the Siddhadharas, 6 centers of existence, are. People say that realization is attained by taking our Jiva step by step through these various centers and finally getting it absorbed in the Brahmarandhra. I earnestly pray that the truth about this also may be fully explained. What do you mean by Siddhadhara? The Siddhadharas are 1. Muladhara, 2. Swadhisthana, 3. Manipurika, 4. Anahatha, 5. Visuddhi, and 6. Ajna. Where are they situated? Muladhara lies in the lower pelvic regions. It is the anus region. Swadhisthana lies just at the root of the urethra. Manipurika lies touching the navel. Anahatha lies about the middle of the chest. Visuddhi lies at the pit of the throat and Ajna lies between the eyebrows. How are they located in their respective regions in the body? Have you any idea? They are the regular steps one above the other, and I think that the Jiva has to traverse all these steps before it reaches the Brahmarandhra. Which is the bottommost one? It is the Muladhara. Where is this Muladhara? It is at our backside and is the anus region. Since it is the bottommost and supports the rest, it is called Muladhara. Now tell me whether our life is inside us or outside us. It is inside us. How is it possible to take the prana, life energy, inside through anus when it already exists inside? Supposing what you say is correct, that is, anus is the Muladhara and it is through this that Jiva is to be taken to the Muladhara, is it possible to take the Jiva up through anus without letting it out first? It is not possible. If the Jiva inside is let out, what will happen? It will become a dead body. Then, can you say that anus is the Muladhara? No. You said that all the adharas remain step by step and that prana should go step by step and reach Brahmarandhra. Let us take an instance to prove that the adharas do not remain step by step as you have said. Suppose we are walking alone through a solitary place and we hear suddenly a gunshot or any other big sound. What will happen to our Jiva? Then, our Jiva suddenly goes up. From where does it go up? Is it from the inner side or outer side? From our inner side. When our Jiva which is inside us goes up suddenly, in what state will we be? We will be unconscious. What is the reason? Because the Jiva has gone up. If there are 6 adharas, as you said, then when the Jiva goes up as we have seen in the above instance, no such adharas are found. If there is any, the Jiva might have opened it. That also did not happen. Further, when we sleep our Jiva moves up and down in us. That is called samirana, about which we have explained in chapter 1. That samirana is the force that moves up and down and strikes at the Brahmarandhra. Then also we do not find the 6 adharas existing step by step. Besides this, what do you understand by the expression mula? Mula is nothing but the root. If that is so, which is our root? Is the anus region through which we pass all dirty matters. This is nonsense. Mula is the root. Therefore it should be the first to appear. It is impossible to say that the opening which you mentioned could be the root or the foundation or the support of our body. There is no being or creation which develops life and limb from that opening. Even when a woman gives birth to a child, what is it that comes out first? Is it the anus portion of the child's body or the head portion of the child's body? It is the head portion. If the anus is the starting point, then do you not expect that it should appear first from the mother's womb at childbirth? Muladhara must be the root or foundation of our life. Life should develop from the root only. So Muladhara should be our head from where life really starts. Moreover, even when we draw a picture, where from do we naturally start? We draw the head first. T. Then what do you think to be the starting point or support? Dis. It is the head. There is no doubt about it. T. Now tell me, where does a tree stand? Dis. On the earth. T. From where does the tree originate? Dis. From the seed. T. From which part of the seed does it sprout? Dis. From the face. T. Does this face remain at the top or at the bottom? Dis. At the top. T. Then, which is the place of origination for all the creatures in the world? Dis. The top portion. T. How does the tree that we have explained above absorb water and other nourishments? Dis. With the root. T. Instead of supplying the food and drink at the bottom, if you supply them at the branches, will it be of any use for the growth of the tree? Dis. No. It won't be of any use for the growth of the tree. T. Why not? Dis. Because the food and water are not supplied at the root. T. So how does a tree absorb its food and drink? Dis. Through its roots. T. Can we take any food or drink through the anus region, which you say is the root? Dis. It is not possible. T. If the anus is our root, should it not be that we draw our nourishments through that opening? Dis. It should be so. Perhaps this opening is not the Muladhara, and that may be the reason why we are not able to take food through the same. T. How do we take our food? Dis. We take our food through our mouth situated in the head, the root of our body. T. Mula, with reference to a plant, is its root from which the seedling comes out, and with reference to us it is our head. This head is the topmost part of our body. The source of all development of life is this head. It is in this head that all the Shuddhadharas are situated. The expression Muladhara can be divided into two concepts, Mula and Adhara. Mula means origin and Adhara means base or support. Muladharam means the place from where things originate. This place is the mind, the support of all states of feeling and existence. Suppose there is no life in a body, what would it be? Dis. It would be a corpse. T. Can a corpse have any of these states? Dis. No. T. What is the reason? Dis. Because it is lifeless. T. For the lifeless, is there any adhara or world? Dis. There is none for a lifeless body. T. Can one with life always have all these states? Dis. No, we cannot have. While sleeping one cannot see anything or have any feeling. T. When can a living body have feelings? Dis. Only when he is awake. T. What was the change in him? Dis. There arose a feeling of self or ahankara. T. Where from this ahankara arose? Dis. From the mind. T. So Jiva, the life, manas, the mind, and ahankaram, the lower self, are within all people. Of these, ahankara alone has three states of existence. They are 1. Jagrat, being wakeful, 2. Sushupti, being dead asleep, and 3. Swapna, being in dreams. In the 7th chapter this topic was dealt with. These three states belong to ahankara and are the same as the experience now felt by us. In fact, their order is as swapna, dreaming state, sushupti, sleeping state, and jagrat, waking state. The dead sleep is between the dreaming state and the waking state. But people feel that the state of dead sleep comes first, then the state of dreams, and after that the state of wakefulness. These three states belong to ahankara as already stated. The so-called waking state of ahankara is felt by the mind. During the sleeping state of the ahankara, the mind is at perfect rest and ceases to work. During the dreaming state of ahankara, the mind recollects the deed done by it or the things proposed to be done. There is yet a 4th state of life. This is the state when ahankara does not have the above-mentioned 3 states but gets merged with the mind itself, wherefrom it took its origin. That is the starting point. This getting merged is called the Muladhara. When ahankara goes back to its place of origin, then there is no conception of a world outside. There is no factor to establish or discriminate things because the ahankara was merging itself with the mind. This state of mind is analogous to that of swapna and the same is known as muladhara. The expression swathishtanam means one's own place. Swa plus athasthana, Swa means one's own and athishtanam means original place. When ahankara is absorbed into the mind completely, then the mind has no work. This state is sushupti or a deep sleep. The mind does not think over anything. The entry of ahankara into this state is similar to the entry of a man into a small room after walking for a long time in the midday sun. There is little light in the small room and the man will not be able to make out the things there. Ahankara, when it has entered into the mind, cannot have any conception of the world outside. This is the dead sleep of the mind, and this state is called swathishtanam. Manipurika is the fullness of mind. Mani is the mind, puraka is filling. In this state, the mind is full in itself with the life and nothing else. This state is similar to the experience of a man who after walking in the midday sun entered a room. At first he does not see anything. After a time he is able to see things there with the aid of the light prevailing there. The mind, when it enters into its own place, at first finds darkness. Afterwards it gradually begins to see things in its own light. At this state the mind cannot see all kinds of existence. This is the real wakefulness of the mind. This is called manipurika. Anahata is that where the mind that was active like fire is cooled down and completely absorbed into Jiva. Ana means the fire, hatam means destruction. Anahatam means the destruction of fire or mental activity. This is the time of rest for Jiva, life. Then it comes as dreaming state for Jiva. When the glowing mind unites itself as one with Jiva, the effect produced is indescribable. It is all one illumination, the varied activities of life ceasing to be manifested. This state is known anahata. Visuddhi is that state of mind in which no thing is known to the Jiva and mind. Vi means distinction, that is, knowledge. Suddhi means purification, i.e., pure knowledge. It is the state of Sivam where both the mind and life has coalesced in perfect harmony. This is the state of dead asleep for Jiva's life. Visuddhi means purified. This is the stage where the sin of mind perish and life becomes purified and sublime. Ajna is that state where the life is no more dead asleep in a state of sublimity. It is the state of real wakefulness to life. It is the state of Brahmarandhra, eternal bliss. This state is indescribable. It is like the taste of sweetmeats which only the person who has tasted can understand. Thus this bliss is only enjoyable and not describable, but it can be understood. All beings enjoy this bliss at a time when they pilfer a certain treasure of theirs. This treasure, they have to store if they want to live and enjoy, but they pilfer and waste the same. Just at the time when this treasure is touched, you experience a certain thrill of happiness which is indescribable. This thrill is nothing but Brahmananda. Diso. Guru. Will anyone destroy a certain thing by pilfering it when he has to exist on the same? Yes. All the beings in this world pilfer and waste this treasure on which they can live forever. It is only by pilfering and destroying this treasure that people die. You may ask me how this is so. All beings desire for sexual intercourse. The mind is never more concentrated than when it is engaged in this. All the five senses give their full cooperation. The mind is centered inside and move along with Jiva in upward and downward flow. In this manipulation, Jiva passes through Brahmarandhra and touches the point vitus. Immediately there is a flash and thrill. This is Brahmananda accompanied by the seminal discharge from this point vitus. Can this thrill of happiness be described? No. This bliss is no way less than Brahmananda. It is Brahmananda itself. The vital fluid is the essence of Brahma. In a twinkle of moment when Jiva touches the point vitus, the source of this fluid, you become rapturous. This is the eternal bliss. That is why it is said that every creation comes out of Anandam, happiness. If you store this treasure within you in complete celibacy, you can have everlasting bliss. Without bestowing any thought, people pilfer and waste this nectar on which the mortality or immortality of life depends. They crave for a momentary happiness and lose the prospect of everlasting happiness. They destroy themselves. Oh! Disciple, if one strives to obtain eternal bliss by safeguarding this vital treasure and practice the art of manipulating Jiva in upward and downward flow within him and making the Jiva absorbed at that vital point, he can live in eternal happiness forever. This is the state of Brahmanandam. People without knowing this and without any effort to know, let this energy flow out in various ways and perish themselves in the illusory objects. But people say that one must know oneself. Yet, nobody acts to it. If one wants to know oneself, he must look towards the self only. Without doing this, if one looks to other things, he will never know the self, but will perish consequently. Therefore, we pray that all the creatures in the world should attain self-realization and become blissful by concentrating one's own energy in oneself, and allowing it to be fused with Sukla the Brahma.